get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. African people, what time is it?
Today,
we are here. As a part of Sankofa Day. To express our complete solidarity. With Occupy Wall Street. We have a common interest. The same system that tries to evict you today. Has been trying to kill us. For generations. We have a common interest. Bring down that same system. Our political prisoners are the living embodiment of that struggle. Our political prisoners are the true freedom fighters in this land. Mumia Abu Jamal. Herman Bell. Sada Shakur. These are just some of the names that represent the various movements for liberation that have struggled for generations. Back in the 60s. Back in the 70s. Back in the 80s. They put their lives on the line for our future and our freedom. The system then was unsustainable and insufficient, and the system now is unsustainable, insufficient, and must change. That change must come from our generation. We will either stand up and uphold our obligation, or we will betray it. All power to the people. Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Cause the power of the people don't stop
This movement,
if you've been about this movement,
this speaker needs no introduction.
this speaker needs no introduction.
This brother is the most revolutionary councilman in the country. In the history of this country. Introducing Charles, the people's champ, Barron.
Wall Street is where they brought Africans. They built the wall to protect themselves from the indigenous people that stole the land from. from.
They stole land from.
Brought us from Africa.
Brought us from Africa.
Sold us on Wall Street.
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 To make capitalism what it is.
To make capitalism what it is.
Blood, sweat, and tears of African people.
Blood, sweat, and tears of African people.
We're here today.
We're here today.
We have to fight racism.
We have to fight racism.
Along with capitalism.
Along with capitalism.
Along with imperialism.
Along with imperialism.
But don't forget racism.
But don't forget racism.
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 So,
So,
as we go forward,
as we go forward,
we know this is how revolutions begin.
revolutions begin.
We don't just want a job.
We don't just want a job.
We don't just want some housing.
We don't just want some housing.
We don't just want food on our table.
We don't just want food on our table.
Just want clothing on our back.
We don't just want clothing on our
We
back.
want to smash capitalism.
We want to smash capitalism.
And I say they should bring stop and frisk.
They should bring stop and frisk
to Wall Street.
to Wall Street. Stop and frisk
Wall Street.
to Wall Street.
Ponzi games.
Ponzi games
Wall Street.
on Wall Street.
Predatory loans.
Predatory loans
Wall Street.
on Wall Street.
Toxic derivatives.
Toxic derivatives
On Wall Street.
on Wall Street.
Liars. Cheats.
Cheats.
Crooks.
Crooks.
Avaricious capitalists.
Avaricious capitalists
On Wall Street.
on Wall Street.
Stop, frisk, and arrest.
Stop, frisk, and arrest
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Power to the people.
To introduce another icon of our struggle.
Another icon of our struggle.
For those who don't know,
For those who don't know,
today is actually
the
45th anniversary
45th anniversary
of the Black Panther Party.
of the Black Panther Party.
So this next sister is a revolutionary.
Is a revolutionary.
She's both a member of
She's also a member of
the Black Panther Party
the Black Panther Party
and the Young Lords Party.
and the Young Lords Party.
Cleo Silvers, y'all.
Cleo Silvers. All power to the people.
All power to the people. The reason that I came out here
The reason that I came out here
was to let you know that the old revolutionaries support everything that you're doing.
that the old revolutionaries support everything you're doing.
We support what you stand for.
We support what you stand for.
We want to see this movement grow.
We want to see this movement grow.
We want to see the conditions in our society change.
We want to see the conditions in our society change.
Number one, free, preventive,
quality,
healthcare for all,
healthcare for all, free,
housing
housing
for all. Dr. Martin Luther King
Dr. Martin Luther King
had a great point
when he
asked for a guaranteed annual income for all. These are serious issues.
These are serious issues
The police, for the police, if they cannot protect the people, get them out of your community.
Very serious.
Be aware
Be aware
that in your midst
that in your midst
It's wonderful.
To put a negative spin on what you are doing.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Revolution.
Revolution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Strong in spirit.
This mic check situation is very interesting.
This mic check situation is very interesting.
I come from the heights.
I come from the heights.
Where we suffer from gentrification.
Where we suffer from gentrification.
Where we're suffering from lack of access to health care.
Where we suffer from lack of access to health care.
Where we're suffering from lack of access to quality education.
Where we suffer from lack of access to quality education.
But I'm mainly
here
because I acknowledge that there's a disconnect between the Occupy Wall Street movement and the hood. To be able to move forward, people of color, including Latinos, Asians, Arabs, Africans need to be here, not as tokens, but participating in decision making. I am here because I know there is a need to link Occupy Wall Street with taking back our hoods. Taking back our hoods from corporations, banks, and stupid ass politicians that favor the ruling class. My respects to my brother, Charles Barrett. Politicians are paid by us. And so is the NYPD. And therefore, they need to respond to us. Not corporations, not banks, nor the wealthy. So the heights is here to say, take back the heights, and occupy Wall Street. Take back the heights, and occupy Wall Street. Take back the heights, and occupy Wall Street. Take back the heights, and occupy Wall Street.
We have a symbol, Sankofa. It means go back to your roots. You can see the bird taking the earth from his back. That's the meaning of Sankofa. Go back to your roots. Sankofa.
It was believed that they were taking 10 million slaves from Africa, majority from West Africa. 650,000 slaves were taken from Gold Coast. But later, most of the record about the slaves were burnt. Few were found. And after they did abolish slave trading in the world, 1807, most of the tunnel leading to the trading of the slaves in the dungeons were blocked, which signifies that there was no more trading of slaves in the castle or in the coast. this is the male dungeon. The male dungeon is made up of about 3 chambers. So this is the first chamber of the dungeon. But this dungeon, it is leading to the gate of no return. But we also have other chambers outside. And about 300 men were kept here in this room. So we are now marching through the gate of no return for the awaiting boat, which will be leading the slaves to the ships. The females were coming from this section to join the men. Yeah, there was a steps leading downstairs. So the women were marching from that section to pass through this very thin or this very small hole here, which leads to the gate of no return.
African descent. We invite everybody
and Occupy Wall Street
to follow as allies. To walk with us. To remember that the same Wall Street we are occupying was the site for slave trade.
for slave trade.
And to remember
And to remember
that they built
Wall Street
on our sacred African burial ground.
African burial ground.
To remember that these same corporations we stand out here against are the same corporations that profited then from slave labor and today from the slave labor inside of prison camps and from the minimum wage labor that we give today. So all many civilizations.
We're built. And we say Ashe.
And we say Ashe.
We thank our ancestors.
We thank our ancestors
Who survived the Middle Passage.
who survived the Middle Passage.
We call on those bones.
We call on those bones
That lie in the Atlantic Ocean.
that lie in the Atlantic Ocean.
We thank our warriors.
We thank our warriors.
We thank our revolutionaries.
We thank our revolutionaries
Who fought for our freedom and our liberation.
of the entire diaspora.
In the Americas, in Africa, in Haiti, in Cuba, and Brazil. We say Ashe. Most of all, we call on the love, the energy, and the spirit, as we fight against Wall Street. We demand restitution, and reparations for wrong and a crime against humanity. We say Ashe. We call on the names of Ida B. Wells, Malcolm X, Bob Marley, Dr. King, Toussaint Louverture, and the rest their revolutionary arms around us. And know that we will not be deterred. We will fight. We will unite. We will organize. To topple capitalism. We will fight. A people united will never be defeated. Ashe. So let it be written. So let it be done. Ashe, oh, Baba.
Mic check. On these grounds that you stand on are the bones of our African ancestors. All along downtown. 20,000 African bones are under these buildings. We stop them from building on top of 427 of our ancestral remains at the African burial ground. If you ever saw the images, a little baby is in the arms of his mother. Skeletal remains. They died together. These pigs worked them to death. Literally to death. So when we go down to Wall Street, we know they built the wall to protect themselves from the indigenous people of attacking them. They stole this land from the indigenous people. Stole us from Africa to build it. So these crooks on Wall Street owe us our reparations. They owe us our reparations. It's a debt. It's a debt. Keep the welfare. Keep the affirmative action. Pay us our reparations. Power to the people. Long live our ancestors. Up, you mighty people.
streets, our 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 streets.